This is not a grinder smithing deal. This is just how you can use this thing every day to help you out. A lot of you guys probably use these things, but I won't leave without one, period. Forge, anvil, hammer, that. Because it just saves me a lot of time and effort. So I'll quickly go through just some pictures and some modifications and some things I use and try to then leave some time for any questions or whatever of anything that I don't cover. And you'll get a whole lot more out of it if you give me your questions instead of me trying to go over all of it. Basically, this, like I said, it's going to be just your everyday use. I use the expander wheels, just like what you see set up here, the 10-inch wheel and the 6. The difference is the 10-inch wheel is much faster, removes a lot of material really quick. Smaller wheels, a little finer. I keep a finer belt on that to do some different things. And with dealing with this particular thing, the first thing you've got to do is you've got to set it up right. And I'm going to just get into this thing just a little bit, just because a lot of people get mad at these things, and I've bought 2 or 3 of them from guys that said they didn't work and they were no good, and sold them to them for $20, and I'm like, and we'll look at it when we're done, but this thing has to be put on turning the right direction. Otherwise, the belt just slings right off of it. They're very easy to line up, very quick, very easy. That large diameter, they don't create a lot of heat, so you move a lot of metal and you remove it in a hurry. Your grinding surface for safety is always from 90 degrees. Has this thing got a laser on it? I don't guess it does. I left mine. But from 90 degrees to just about 180, but in that area. The guard on this thing is imperative. I generally take the guards off everything I ever get because they just get in the way, and I need to get in there. But that thing will eat you up if you don't have it because it removes a lot of stuff and it just flies right over the top. The 10-inch wheel, as I said, I've got ahead of myself. That's for removing a lot of stock. You can take a 3 and make a double aught in a pair of seconds. So it really makes it easy on your fit, it's a little easier to grab a little bigger shoe and bring it back to the foot a lot of times than forge one. I tend to forge a lot more shoes until I got this, and it was just much faster, much easier to do. The smaller wheel, I keep a finer belt on that, and I do different stuff. Mainly my tools, keep my tools tuned up, and some aluminum work on there. Anything that you got to keep cool, like aluminum, heats up and it gums up real bad, the smaller wheel will work considerably better than the large one. But I'm going to show you how to keep them from gumming up too, because that's not a big deal either. Clips. There's absolutely no reason to nail an ugly clip on when you got a grinder. You can pull up a Lay's potato chip and make that thing look like a shiny new penny really easy. And granted, most of us buy clips anymore, but some of your aluminum shoes and a few guys, and a lot of people just like to pull their own. But very, very, very easy thing to have, and just that alone for somebody that's getting ready for a certification or learning the deals is worth its weight in gold. Positions, and we can go over all that too if anybody wants to know about what to do, but just very easy, very safe to get in there and clean those up. Boxing and safing, that's primarily what we're going to do with it. It just makes nice clean edges really quickly, doesn't waste a lot of time, doesn't develop a lot of heat, and it really, like I said, gives you a lot of room on your inventory, your truck. I mean, I'm very simple. I carry SX8s, bar stock, and that's pretty much it. And it's not like I make shoes all the time. I mainly just use SX8s, but I can do so much with it. I can blow them out or whatever I need really quickly, really easy, and use this grinder to just clean everything up and open my commissures up. Every shoe that I do, every horse I shoe, I box and safe to some extent. Perimeter fit, not as much, but every single one of them is shiny as a new penny when I nail it on, reset or not. For those of you who are just starting out, it will make you a ton more money. People are like magpies. We like shiny things. You you take that reset and you just buzz it around there after you've cleaned it up, nail it on, it looks brand new. And looks are everything to your horse owner, because they know nothing else. As long as he walks off without hobbling, if it looks really shiny, you are really good. And it really, really says a lot to what they know, because all they know is what is pretty. You know, if you walk in your motel room, your bed's not made, you know, you're pretty upset. Well, the same way with them, they come in, it looks rough. Well, this makes it very, very easy to clean that up and shine it up, and it will pay for itself in no time. Just doing that. Rolling toes. I mean, it's so simple because now you can shape your shoe, you can put it on. If you can hammer it if you want, but you've got to pick a smaller shoe. You've got to allow for all this stuff. With this, you don't. You shape it up. You can roll it. You can box it. You can take the inside edge like I did, get in the ground. You can do any number of things very quickly, very easily to these things. And once again, like I said, they really pay for themselves. I mean, you can pre-wear a shoe out, for lack of a better word. This kind of seems kind of sacrilegious to do that, but you know, it's one of those deals that never hurts any of them by any means, and all they can use it. But it's that little something you do, and you can use that tool to knock it out with really quick. That just it actually shows to them a little more professionalism because you've actually worked a little more. People, you know, they pay us for sweat equity. Well, we don't have to sweat a whole lot on that. Just moving around, but they get to see the results of it. Just very quickly, how to, you know, how I use this particular deal. They will eat you. That's why I don't wear gloves. I wear glasses. When I do aluminum, I always have a mask on. Never wear gloves because they will grab gloves and just suck you in there, and just like a chainsaw gets all your pants, they will eat you. I know that all too well. You know, make a lot of tools and stuff. But you know, if you have your guard placed right, pay attention. You know, you're not rocking out on the radio or talking to folks about sugar lump while you're doing it. It's still very, very, very effective and very efficient. Seating shoes out. You know, it's so simple because once again, you seat a regular shoe out, you just wreck it. You blow it everywhere. You've got to come in. Well, you can seat it out. You can seat it out in certain places. Anytime I put Equipack or any kind of pour in, I seat them out. And then I don't have to put mesh. I don't have to do anything because it's between the shoe and the foot, and it holds it in. Very, very quick, very easy. Because the mesh is just just takes forever, and that's just real quick. It sucks underneath there. As long as you get them down really quickly, so you don't have sole pressure. Ask me how I know. You know, if you hold it up too long, it's cold in the winter. You know, and the stuff doesn't sit up, and you're holding it, and all of a sudden it's hard, and they're calling you back, and you've just caused sole pressure. You know, or I guess the walking horse, you know, stuff in the backwoods or kind of deal. You know, I've heard they use it for that, but it will cause sole pressure if you do that and you don't get out and level everything out. Whoops. Pads. This is a gargantuan pad. No, I did not put it on a horse. It's just a single pad I found so that I could make this slide, and you can see it looked like a beaver chewed on that. My nippers wouldn't even cut the thing. But it like I said, it cleans it up really nice and neat. The trouble is when you grind this stuff, it'll gob your wheel up with plastic, and they get really slippery, and that's when you take your skin off. So that's when you need to get some cleaners to pull that out or do different things to make your belts last. These little deals you can get here, FPD has them with expander wheels, Home Depot. That'll pull every bit of that pad plastic stuff out of there. It's just a sanding cleaner, sanding butt cleaner. Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace Hardware. Like I said, Farrier Products also has them. And it's just a big old gummy tennis shoe bottom. But it will pull all of that leather. If you grind leather pads, plastic, wood, people do their hammer handles on there, you know, and it cogs them up. That'll pull it. It will not take aluminum out of one very well, but that will pull all of that out. So if you can do one pad. You can put one 3-degree wedge pad on, or Myron McLean, or whatever you're using. And your belt will just be slick as grease, and you'll be sliding around and bleeding and everything. You can just really quickly, you can lay that on there, and that'll clean the whole thing out, and it's back going really good. Aluminum requires a few extra deals because, like I said, they gum up your abrasives and cause a lot of grief. Plus, it's very toxic. You breathe in aluminum, it doesn't leave you. They call it, with the coal miners, it's black lung from the, they call this white lung. You breathe in aluminum, you get white lung, it doesn't leave. So I keep these on the truck and use them. I don't use them on steel, I should, but I don't. Every aluminum shoe, forever, I just rasped them. I just rasped them because I didn't want to be breathing it in. But you can buy these little safety deals, and then you need a bar soap. If ivory soap works the best, kind of gummy. But if you'll just stick that in 30 seconds, stick it in your little baggie wherever it's at, the aluminum will never stick in your belt. It'll be slick and crisp and bite the whole time and never get in there. Do that every shoe. Just makes one revolution with it. No aluminum will stay in there whatsoever. Your belts will last forever. I pick up all my buddies' belts who grind aluminum with it when they're doing their hunters, and they, that thing's no good, because I'll use the devil out of them. Because that's why you put them on those nice bow doors. You just push harder. But if that simple little deal there with a soap just makes all the difference in the world if you do any aluminum. Any soap will work. That was 49 cents at the Revco. Ivory though is a little stickier. It works the best. When you get it, you can actually see it on the belt. That stuff kind of powder and kind of fly, but it still gets in and it'll stop. Get it. But you just take in just a little bit and then do each shoe, and then before each shoe, just a little hit. It'll never clog it up. And that one little deal right there will make life so much easier if you're doing much aluminum, because it's such a drag to do it. And like I said, and then don't breathe it. You absolutely do not want to do that. Like I said, I use the small wheel myself for all my tools. I'm probably like the rest of you. My good tools stay in the shop, and just the broken stuff and just my stuff in the truck, I just fix it as I'm going. I've used a grinder a lot, and I've had one in my truck a lot. So all my buddies, whenever we get it, will you fix my tools? You fix my pritchels or whatever. Well, not pritchels. You really need to forge pritchels, but they're headers and they're fullers and things like that. And so I got to get really good at working on tools, wrecking everybody else's stuff. And that's another thing. If somebody comes up, do theirs first. Do 3 or 4 of them, then you're really good on yours. But then you have a lot of guys give you a lot of stuff too. Here, I can't do anything with this thing. But you can really do a lot, because your fullers, for instance, this small wheel is the perfect radius to get the back of the fuller, or you just lay right in the center. These particular wheels, they don't have a dome in them like a belt sander. It's got that dome that keeps them from tracking. Well, these, when they expand, it's all flat, so you can very easily see it and just go right in to clean that up. And then you turn it over on the other side. It's convex here, it's concave here, and you just roll it a little bit. And I keep 100 grit on the small one, and then 40 on the big one. I've found no advantage to a 36 or anything any heavier than a 40. The 40s seem to last longer. When you get into 36, it's like those the abrasive chunks are so big, a lot of them break off, and they actually seem to get slicker. The type of belts that you have to choose from, you have aluminum oxide, zirconia, and then ceramic. And in that order is about the quality of them. Aluminum oxide is the bottom, they're the cheapest. The zirconia are harder, last a little longer, and they're mid-priced. And then you have the ceramic, which is by far the superior belt. I use exclusively ceramic belts because they last 3 to 5 times longer than the zirconia belts. So a zirconia belt is going to run you in the neighborhood of $5, and a ceramic belt is going to run you 10, probably double the price, but it outlasts 3 or 4 of the regular belts. It really cuts. It's made for the ceramic belts are made for grinding tooling parts, tool steel. So it's really hard and really takes the material and holds up really, really well to the tools. The second thing you can do is you use that belt for a while. They've got an arrow in there that says they'll go either way. So when these things start getting slippery, not cutting, just turn it around. You're going to get probably 25% again cut again. It really starts grabbing as soon as you flip it around. So you can use this thing And like I said, I use them I use them quite a while because I'm cheap. But I'll use them quite a while, but when they start getting, because what happens is they do get dangerous. When they get slippery and you start bearing on them and start really trying to lay into it too much, you can take that thing and flip that thing around, and it'll feel like it's about, it'll feel about halfway, or at least you'll get a lot more use out of it. You'll feel the bite on it again and start moving stuff really quickly, and take them out. I've seen guys that take and hit them with a rasp and do stuff to try to break, but I haven't found that to work. I find just turning them around, because they get used to going that one way. Well, they get a nice sharp burr on the back, and then that burr works for you when you're cutting them off. The coup de grace, shiny cells. I'm not trying to sell them, but I don't care if you do it with a rasp or whatever. If you do it for no other reason than to just knock the shine on your shoes, it will more than pay for itself. Just in the people that call up and say, boy, your stuff was just so pretty and shiny, no matter what your clinches or anything look. I mean, it really makes it, there's no reason why somebody can't afford to do it. Whether you use a hand grinder with flap disc or whatever, it doesn't really matter. But it really adds a bit of professionalism to your work, and it gives you an excuse that there's no reason why I can't, whether, like I said, whatever type you use. These are just the most efficient. They last the longest as far as the belts, and they give you the most opportunity to use on your shoes with the deep seating and everything.